Hey guys, welcome to the AMPscript Lab tutorial video. We're going to break down step by step exactly what you can do in this tool so that you can practice AMPscript, show off your skills without having to get access to SFMC. So the tool itself is pretty self-explanatory. I'm pretty sure you can figure things out as you build along, but there are certain features that are probably not as obvious. So stick around if you want to see what that is. I think it's definitely worth it. Anyways, enjoy the quick guide. Okay, cool. So this is the first thing that you see when you open up the AMPscript Lab. First off, starting on the left-hand side are your data extensions. So pre-built are your 3 data extensions that you can play around with. And given that it's 3, you probably can get an idea that you can play around with more complex functions like lookup and lookup rows. So here I have sample data for you, loyalty members, property, and transactions. And if you want to view the records, you just click manage and edit here. So your loyalty members DE is going to be your sending DE. And as you can see here, you have all the fields and the data points that you can play around with. You can delete records, you can add new rows, you can add new fields. It's totally up to you. This is just your sample data to get you up and running without having to create everything from scratch. Right. Here's your property DE. Here's your transactions DE again. Click here if you want to view and change things. Now, say for example, you have your own use case or you're following one of the assignments in the school community, AMPscript Academy, you can create your own new DE here as well. So you just click new DE, create something new like audience 1, create some new fields here, subscriber key, comma. This is how you quickly kind of create new fields. First name, let's say tier, balance points, up to you, whatever fields you want. Click create here, and here you can add more fields, it can add more rows, 1001, very basic stuff, right? Vince, bronze, and 1001. Yeah, and click done. And then this is your data extension here. Say for example, you want this to be a sending DE, just click this button here, and there we go, it goes all the way to the top, and now this becomes your sending DE, and whatever you reference in here, we'll just reference the copy in here. Make sense? Pretty straightforward. If you want to reset the data, just click reset, and then everything's back to normal. You can play around with the original sample data. So that's your data extensions here. I also have another section called content block library, which basically gives you a library of all the different kind of content blocks, very similar to a real scenario if you're working in an SFMC environment, to kind of build out your email template. So at the moment in the middle section here, it kind of includes all the content blocks that you see that make up this email template, right? So if you want to change it around and build your own like variation of it, all you need to do is just drag this in here, or you can click the plus button as well. So say I want an image article, I can drag it in here. It appears at the very bottom. All you need to do is just click to the top and you can move things however you like it. This is full HTML, so whatever you edit in here, you can actually edit and see the preview in here. So if you want to create your own HTML template using CSS as well, feel free. If not, quick and easy, drag and drop a content block and play around with it there. You can add content blocks. So there's a new block at the bottom here, and yeah, you can code it up from scratch if you really wanted to. Delete content blocks as so, and yeah, pretty easy, very standard, right? So that's pretty cool. If you want to focus on a content block, you can, expand it and, make it easier for you to code out if you really wanted to. I have this cool format HTML button here as well to clean it up, because if you're writing it from scratch or if you're pasting it from something else, from somewhere else, then yeah, you can format your HTML in there if you want to. Cool. So that's your content block library. I also have your assets library here. So these are kind of inbuilt assets that you can use to practice with your AMPscript. And the cool thing here is that you can copy and paste the URL and paste it in the actual HTML code, and you can see a preview. So for example, say I want to change the hero banner. Maybe I'll use welcome hero. So I just copy the URL. You can click into it as well. You can see what the image looks like. Copy the URL, click done. Find my hero banner. And you just need to find the source tag, right? You can make it bigger if you want to, but the source tag is here. This is currently referring to the image for what you see in here. So you can paste the new URL, click done, and it renders right there, which is pretty cool, right? So you can play around with that. I think the coolest thing that you probably won't know is that you can actually grab images from anywhere online for your practice, right? Because maybe you want to build your own use case, your own template. Maybe you want to create an email for like a pet company, create an email for like a food company. In this case, maybe a vacation company. So just search anything you want. Open image in new tab. You just need to copy the URL for this image at the top. And then now you can go back into the lab and paste it into the source tag. And now you have your own version, own image that you can use to build out your own email, which is pretty cool, right? So you don't have to use the assets here. You can if you want to, but you don't have to, right? Cool. So that's your HTML content blocks. As you can see at the very top, fixed to the top is your AMPscript logic, your AMPscript code snippet. So this is where all your logic for AMPscript will go. The way I teach it, I like to host everything at the very top, then just print out the variables at the bottom. If you want a step-by-step guide to learn exactly how to upskill in AMPscript, join the free community. You can see all the courses, the exercises to help you practice exactly here in the tool. But yep, write your AMPscript blocks, a real quick one here. I'm going to say, let's do a quick first name personalization, yeah? So say I want to create a first name variable. I want to retrieve it from the data extension. So the cool thing about here as well, you can just copy the field names and paste it in here. And then, yeah, you can reference this directly in the copy wherever you like it. So this is your subject line. So % equals V, paste equals %. Enjoy your vacation, maybe. Oh, like so, right? And then you can preview in your email. And as you can see here, like in a real scenario, maybe the data in your data extension isn't correct, right? I should probably put one in there as well. So let's clean it up. Let's clean it up here. I'm going to say if not empty, first name. And again, you can expand this if you want to. Then else and if. So if it's not empty, meaning it has a value, then let's clean it up, right? So final name equals, I'm going to do a proper case as well as a trim. So it's a function within a function, but I'm going to clean up first name as so. So that's going to be my final variable, proper casing and trimming. And if empty first name, meaning it doesn't have a value, then I'm going to set the final name variable as there instead. Or actually, you know what? Let's do valued member, right? Up to you, whatever you want, depends on the client. Now I can copy the final name variable and let's paste it in here instead. There we go. That's my final name. Let's copy this full output function here and put it in there as well. There we go, right? So now if we preview and test, Samuel, enjoy your vacation, or enjoy vacation. Did I not type it? Enjoy your vacation. There we go. Preview test. There we go. You can see that. Samuel, let's go back to one of the other records. Jerry. It should all be properly formatted now. Ravi. Let's find a record where it is empty. Where's an empty first name record? There we go. Empty. Valued member. Welcome. Oh, sorry. Enjoy your vacation. Hi, valued member. So yeah, you can see you can do a lot of cool things in here. Again, one thing to emphasize is that you can use lookup functions or lookup rows, even play around with dynamic loops, right? So if you want to see that, check out my community. I teach you how to do dynamic loops. You can do dynamic loops on full content blocks as well, output all the dynamic events for a certain property, up to you. But here, just to show you a simple lookup function, let's say I want to retrieve the property manager's details. So in the property DE, let's say I want the property manager for the details here. So let's go. Okay, so how do we do that? So here's a quick lesson for you. So how do I retrieve data from another DE? I need to find the matching key, the primary key, essentially the lookup key, right? So I can see my sending DE, I have sign up property. And then if I look at the property DE, I see that the primary key is property ID, and that's going to be my link between the two DEs. So let's retrieve the property ID first, which is a sign up DE. Property ID equals, I'm going to copy the sign up property here. And then now a basic lookup function, I'm going to say property manager equals, let's do lookup function. And then what am I looking up? I'm going to look up the property DE. This is the name of the data extension. what do I want to retrieve? I want to retrieve the property manager's name. How am I going to do that? Where the property ID in the property DE equals the variable of the sign up property ID that I set above, right? There we go. And now I have the property manager details in here. So then maybe, let's say in the copy here, your button, let's say we create a line break in here, 2 line breaks, and I'll say thanks. And then maybe I'll output the, oh, probably need another line break in here. So you can play around HTML as well. Let's paste in the property manager details like that. Thanks, property manager, right? So let's preview now. There we go. Thanks, Sarah Williams, your property manager. Whatever you want to be, play around at your will, but you can create all these different variations here, which is pretty cool, right? You can even make the hero image dynamic if you really wanted to, right? Hey, you know what? Let's also quickly create, retrieve the tier of the member. So I can copy the tier like so. And then now I can make a conditional statement. If tier, I'll do a quick one for you, equals bronze, right? I'll do a quick one for you, but oops, play around with it at your will. Then else and if. So if they're bronze, let's set hero image URL equals, what am I going to set it? Let's go to our assets, right? In our assets, we have specific tier images. I'm going to copy the bronze tier, paste it in there, right? Else, because this is just a quick demo, I'm not going to type in everything. So if you're not bronze, then what image URL do you get? Let's say we'll just get, we'll get this one here. What's going on this month? And paste it in there, right? And now we get this hero image URL. We paste it in the source tag in the hero, like so. % equals v, paste equals %. Oop. And now, yes, in the output, it doesn't look like any hero image is going on here. This is actually what it's going to look like in the actual setup, because the hero image is a variable, right? So make sure that looks all good. And now if we preview, there we go, what's on? Because our loyalty tier is silver. Let's find a bronze member, platinum. So I'm looking at data on the left, gold, bronze, and there we go. You have a dynamic hero image, which is pretty cool. Yeah. One thing that is cool that I want to point out as well, say you want to show off your skills, whether it's in a portfolio, you want to showcase on LinkedIn, up to you. You can share this build by clicking this button here. You click share this build, and it actually outputs your code and the final output of your email template, which you can showcase, right? A lot of interviewers nowadays want to see your skills, especially the hiring managers, recruiters, build a portfolio using this tool to showcase you can actually do this. You can talk through your code, make sure it looks nice, and see the final output. So yeah, feel free to do this. You can add a handle built by option here. Share it on LinkedIn if you want to. I think it's a good opportunity. A lot of posts on LinkedIn does help with recruiters reaching out to you, or share it in the school community, AMPscript Academy. So make sure you join that step-by-step guide to upskill you exactly like this, so you're confident with your skills in AMPscript. But yeah, you can download the image, upload to your website portfolio as well, which I reckon is pretty cool. All right, let's click done. Another cool thing that I want to show off to you is that not only you can practice with email, but you can also practice with SMS. Exact same thing here. All you need to do now is just add in the AMPscript block at the top, which is very realistic, exactly what you do in Content Builder in SFMC. And yeah, just code away, exact same thing, right? Set, I'll say final name, equals proper case, trim, and then let's retrieve the first name variable in the data extensions, like so. So you can do something like this if you wanted to, and then output final name in here. Build at your will. Preview. And there we go. This is your SMS, which is pretty cool. You can flick through, see all the different records, share this build, and look how cool this is, right? This is a render of an SMS message. right? You can download the image if you want to. If I do a quick zoom in, this is what your image will look like. Very nice. It shows your AMPscript code on the left, shows the output on the right. Very nice. Click done. Cool. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Feel free, enjoy. Hopefully, it does really help with your practice in AMPscript. The number one thing is not having access to SFMC does restrict you in your growth in practicing and applying for those roles. So if you use this tool, really demonstrate your capabilities and showcase it in those interviews, I'm sure you'll definitely stand out because you're actually doing the work. You're actually doing hands-on practical implementations that shows an actual result. So yeah, enjoy guys, and yeah, join the school community if you haven't already. Enjoy.